The astrology for this weekend, Friday through Sunday, is the best I've seen for a while. It's lovely, actually. Let's take it a day at a time, starting with Friday, and talk through the energies of the weekend. I'm going to focus on it by going a day at a time. Uh, but everything that I'm talking about is actually relevant the entire weekend. So it all of these signatures are kind of building in order to shape the understanding, but it's just interesting the way it's set up. So I'll show you here as we go. So yeah, let's start with Friday and with the sun moving into Cancer. I'm noting this on our chart. The sun moves into Cancer on Friday. This is the summer solstice. And my hope is that if you enjoy following along with the chart, if you're learning astrology a bit or a lot, and you want to follow along with the chart and you find that helpful, that the notes that I make on the chart are helpful to you. And if you just want to listen to the astrology piece and enjoy it on that level, my hope is that these videos work for you as well. That's always my intention. Okay, so with that out of the way, we're going to start by talking about the sun moving into Cancer, which marks the summer solstice today, Friday the 20th. And as you can see, Jupiter is here as well. I almost want to include Jupiter in my little circle here because it is pretty significant. And we do have Mercury in the sign as well, but Jupiter is really the significant one because Jupiter is exalted in Cancer. So they're building into a lovely conjunction that will occur next week and early next week, and we'll talk about that then. But with the sun here as well, it's sort of new emotional beginnings. New, fresh energy is coming in. With Jupiter here as well, there's an increased focus on home and on family. There's a way in which security is sort of amplified. And this is quickly becoming my favorite thing about the sun in Jupiter, that feeling of emotional security, of safety, of belonging, of feeling that you can really be yourself, but be your best self with different people in different environments, with different kinds of work. That feeling of security, that is such a strong part of Jupiter in Cancer. And the sun coming into this sign and house now is just kind of illuminating that energy. So that's really lovely because we might really start to more and more find that we're valuing that energy around us. We're valuing those relationships. We're valuing the time that we spend in that emotional security. And through valuing it more, we move toward more and more experiences of it. So this is a wonderful time with the solstice to be thinking about what you want to grow in the year ahead. And because of what's happening with Jupiter emotionally, in terms of your security, in terms of your new beginnings emotionally, there's that focus on home and family as well. This is an amazing day, amazing weekend, and beyond for deepening connections with people and with others and with yourself. You know, it's that emotionally connected feeling energy, and this comes through care, deepening those relationships through care of others, compassion, kindness, going slow, being quiet, taking it easy, enjoying, and also through self-care of yourself, caring for yourself in all the ways that are meaningful to you. And I think what's interesting is that with Saturn and Neptune here in this square, let me add that. Oop. This is a signature that is continually being talked about right now because I think it's getting more and more activated as other planets come in to work with it. So as Mercury or Mars or Venus come in and make connections with Saturn and Neptune, who are in conjunction now at the early degrees of Aries, or the sun and the moon, we sort of start to feel this signature in a whole other way and sort of bring it down into our lives. And I think part of what this is here is, first of all, going slow, not going too fast with these new comfortable energies, with this emotional growth mindset, not going too fast, kind of taking it a step at a time, slowing us down, making sure that we're not moving forward too quickly and forgetting something or leaving something really valuable and important behind that we want to carry with us into the future. And I also think there's something here about boundaries. It's like there's all this openness and kindness and support from Jupiter and from the Sun in Cancer. It's so friendly and secure and just lovely, that if there wasn't something kind of pulling it back a little bit, it almost might be a little bit dangerous, you know? So I think that there's something there about boundaries. It's a way in which, even though we are feeling so generous, we're also able to say no where need be. We're able to see where our limits are and express them. And just to say, this is kind of new energy. If any of that is coming up for you, where you feel like you're building this emotional security, you're beginning to prioritize and build this emotional security on a new level in your life with some boundaries that are different than what you've experienced before. You know, that this is what the astrology is reflecting as one possibility for what could be coming to the surface right now. So if that's something that you're working with, then um, just let that be a little bit of knowing that you're in alignment with what's going on with the astrology. But there's so many different things that all of this can mean. You know, I do think that there's something about going slower in a way. As much as Saturn restricts, Aries is also excited to go ahead and get going. And these are cardinal signs and cardinal energies. But that Cancer nourishment and slowness, I think that if we go slow, it'll be easier for us to tune into our feelings and to do the nourishing work that can potentially be done with a signature like this, and to do the healing work that can potentially be done with a signature like this. So, really, the focus for Friday is this Sun in Cancer. Sun moving into Cancer marks the summer solstice, a wonderful day for celebrations, for thinking about what you want to grow in your life, what you want to expand. Um, the sun is giving a lot of potential there. And what's going on sort of in the external world. You know, I think the winter solstice is such an internal time where it's a great time to sort of go within. But the summer solstice is a time to think about sort of what you're doing in the world as well, and what you want to bring in more of in the months ahead. So, yeah, new emotional beginnings, new emotional energy, all that is really beautiful. Okay, then I want to talk about what comes in when we get to Saturday. So let's move on to Saturday now. Saturday is lovely. Saturday is some of the nicest astrology I've seen in a long time. I know someone who's having a wedding on Saturday, and I need to ask them if they had an astrologer choose their wedding date, because it really couldn't be a more beautiful day for a wedding. There are a couple different things going on Saturday that make me say that. So I'm going to leave the solstice up because the sun is still in Cancer on Saturday, and so is Jupiter, right? So these energies are still active. But then we also on Saturday get this conjunction by by Saturday, the moon has moved along a little bit and has come into a conjunction with Venus in Taurus. So we have the moon conjunct Venus in Taurus. What a lovely signature. Great for a wedding, again. So Venus rules Taurus. Taurus is ruled by Venus, and the moon is exalted here. So these two beautiful planets, feminine energy, kind of coming together in this lovely earthy Taurus sign is so nice. It's soothing, it's comfortable, it's nurturing, affectionate, peaceful, romantic, generous. It's a very sort of calm, sensual, kind, soothing, comfortable energy. I feel like I used the same words too many times. My apologies. But whoa, that's a really nice signature on Saturday, especially Saturday night. But really, it's all day Saturday that the moon is moving through this part of the sky. So I love that. And also, we have a Mercury node connection. Let me mark that as well. You know, I don't know if I really want to mark it that boldly because it's a little bit minor compared to some of the other things that I'm talking about. But I think it's lovely. So excuse the fact that that's really faint and know that that's sort of on purpose. I do want to mention it, but this is really what's so cool about this weekend as I'm building in these energies. You know, like I just said, Venus, Taurus, Venus is, excuse me, Taurus is ruled by Venus. Also, Cancer, Jupiter is exalted in Cancer. So our benefic planets, the planets that bring ease and enjoyment and pleasure and confidence and beauty, they are both in signs where they're very, very happy and having interactions with other planets that delight them as well. So that signifies that there's the potential for that for us here as well. As above, so below. The within of things is the same as the without of things. This is sort of the Hermetic axiom that guides astrology, which is that it's not that these planets are causing this to happen for us, right? It's not that the gravity of the moon or something is pulling on our energy and or Mercury retrograde is making us ... It's that we're all we're all in this together and we're more connected than we seem like we are. So if something's going on with your neighbor, it's kind of going on with you. If something's going on in the skies, it's sort of going on with us. We're all so much more connected than it really seems. And so the astrology can signify something about what's happening for us. And that's what we're looking at here. So Mercury in this harmonious alignment with the nodes is really interesting too, because it suggests that there's some opportunity on Saturday, especially, but all weekend, for kind of reflecting on the past, reflecting on our communication style, on our any mental habits that maybe aren't working for us anymore that can be cleared up. It's an opportunity to clear things up from the past. And it also suggests sort of a fatefulness to this weekend. There's a fateful component to it that I really, really love. Plus, we still have that Jupiter in Cancer, and we have this moon conjunct Venus in Taurus. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Okay, now let's move on to to Sunday and to the last aspect that I'm going to put here on our increasingly busy chart. Good morning. Good morning, Miss Tell. Nice to see you. On Sunday, this aspect is exact, but it's active all weekend, just like everything we've talked about. And sorry if this is getting too confusing or just too busy. But basically, Jupiter is sextile Mars. I should say Mars is sextile Jupiter, exact on Sunday. Love this. It's another connection as well for that Jupiter signature in Cancer. I think we're starting to feel that emotional security piece come in more and more. And Mars is helping us to do that with this nice sextile. So it's sort of action and expression meet here. Mercury is our expression, Mars is the planet of action. So here, it's like everything we've been talking about so far is sort of mental and sort of internal, and certainly suggests the potential for a nice time in the world. But you know what I mean? It's kind of been about feelings, but Mars getting involved now is more suggesting practical progress, the real potential for practical progress here, being able to take sort of purposeful, intentional steps towards goals that we have set. The big deal here when we bring this in, what I really love, is that there's an ambitiousness to Mars in Virgo. Mars in Virgo likes to get things done. Mars has been sort of impeded and struggling a little bit during the retrograde phase, that just so much time in Leo and in Leo and Cancer. And now with Mars in Virgo, for the first time in a while, we feel motivated. We feel ambitious. We feel confident. We feel ready to move forward, get things done, check things off of our list. And so this is a very practical energy. And this Jupiter is so emotional. It's all about our emotional needs. So what I love about this is that we're like really balancing our emotional needs with what we need to do in the world. You know, balancing our comfort with hard work, taking care of ourselves and taking care of what we need to do. So I love that. And maybe that's suggested here too when I was talking about Saturn and Neptune. Oh, I took that down. I shouldn't have, because everything was layering. Um, but when I was talking about how we have boundaries now, we have the potential for some boundaries. So that's kind of reflected here as well. So it's like we're able to care for our inner needs while working on our life externally this weekend. And there's just a lot of potential for some loveliness. I'm going to attach some videos here at the end that talk a little bit more about Venus in Taurus and Jupiter in Cancer. Those are both lovely, lovely signatures that are active right now that we can really take a lot from. There's a lot of opportunity there. So I hope you have a lovely weekend. Thank you so much for being here.